Hi, my name is Dennis Siri. I am Executive Director and founder of the New York City Independent Film Festival, Independent in Spirit, International at Heart, and this is the New York City Independent Film Festival Meet the Filmmakers podcast. Join us while we meet this year's filmmakers. Thank you. Bye bye. Hi, we're here with the cast and crew from Beyond Farewell. Welcome, guys. Thank you for joining us. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you?
Yeah, awesome. Hi, Dennis. Thank you for having us. My name is Yiwen. I'm a bilingual producer based in NYC. I have experience in both domestic and international film productions. I'll be actually completing my bachelor degree at NYU Film and TV this May. Um, I personally produce a lot of shorts and music videos. Recently, I also worked on an Indonesian feature called The Architecture of Love, which is actually premiering in cinema by the end of this month, and another feature from Taiwan, which is going to be playing in Cannes soon. Yes.
Congratulations. Great.
My name is Chris, and I'm also a senior year student at NYU, and I'm also a producer, and I produce a lot of shorts and music videos as well as small commercials before, and many of them got into like Oscar Quality Film Festivals like Rhode Island, Woodstock, CineQuest, and Oberhausen. And right now, I'm currently graduating and also looking for more work, primarily based in New York City, and hopefully I can stay in the city and keep producing more work.
My name is Yinan. I am a New York City-based cinematographer. I work on a lot of music videos and shorts. I also do some work as a gaffer, and most of my gaffer work has been commercials and music videos. Recently, I just came off of a a gaming commercial in Japan. Recently, work has been okay, and I'm doing all right.
Great. Thank you.
I'm Jackie Xing. I'm a writer-director based in New York. I'm an NYU Film and TV alumnus. I grew up in Beijing. I had a pretty diverse upbringing, I'd say, because in Beijing, you see all types of people. You meet all types of people. You grew up with different types of people. I don't have as a director, I don't have a shtick yet. I just have a really high standards for acting and visual storytelling. I did all types of film. I did music video. I did a political drama. I did fashion film. Yeah, in the future I want to do more genre stuff. I am writing a feature, and we as a crew, everybody here is also in our new crew. We have a new film coming up this May. It's an action comedy. We're excited about it. That's basically it. I think, yeah.
Hey guys, my name is Jinzy. You can also call me Sydney. In real life, I'm a data science student slash art student slash musician. That's where I'm at now. And this song is kind of like the character in the song is actually like a clone version of me. If I were in a sci-fi movie, I'll be like that. So the character has a lot of traits that's similar to mine. And right now I'm just hanging with a bunch of film kids trying to do cool things with them. So that's why we're here.
Great. Thank you, guys. Welcome. All right. So, any audience want this conversation? So, what made you want to be a filmmaker?
I mean, there are two main reasons. I was a child actor all the way until like third grade in primary school. I fell in love with, the feeling of being on set like ever since I was a child. But that's the minor reason. The big reason is that my brother is a huge cinephile. He's now working as a film critic. When I was growing up, he showed me all types of genre film. Like Terminator, Jackie Chan, like all those, like seat grabbing, laugh inducing films. I fell in love with those films. And when I was in middle school, high school, when I had the means of creative output, I was like, I want to make something like that. I started making, school plays, school dramas, and all the way to high school, I started making short films. I realized I'm good at it. I want to make films where the audience grab onto their seats, the audience laugh their ass off. Yeah, so I wanted to be a filmmaker when I was in high school. So yeah, I chose a film major now here.
Okay.
For me, I kind of share the same experience as Jackie. I was very lucky to be featured in a feature film when I was like in grade 7. But like during that time, I wasn't really interested in the performing part. I was more talking to the camera crew on set because I think it was so fascinating. Yeah, and then the process of really get into filmmaking was actually when I went to my high school in Canada, even though I grew up in China. I got the opportunity to be part of theater productions. And a lot of theater kids I met there also do filmmaking. And then they introduced me to this film class at our high school. And then from then on, meeting with like a group of passionate filmmakers, we started to create stuff together. And I really enjoy the role of being a producer, managing all the aspects of filmmaking. And after that, I decided, to go with this, pursuing this education and career. Yes.
My experience kind of like different in a way because I think I'm that kind of like typical filmmaker who started off by just really like films in general. Like when I was like in junior high, I just fell in love with like, Christopher Nolan's blockbusters, like, Inception, Interstellars, and I just watched those films like over and over and over again until one day I realized that I watched like a behind the scene documentary about they making like the Dark Knight and how they like blew up like a hospital and how they like do like a stunt from really high building and all those like behind the scene really fascinated me and that's why it really encouraged me to learn more about not only the film itself but also how to be one of the people who make this magic happen and later on but I think my interest kind of varies a little bit because as the more films you watch you know that the film world obviously is not just Christopher Nolan is not just Hollywood. You will see films from like Asia, Japan, Korea, and also European like Russia films and all of those. So I think later on, as I just like watch more films, kind of my interest was like into filmmaking in general, and just want to really create like authentic storytelling. The stories that really resonate with people.
I started out thinking this is a good way to make a living. I thought it's a good hybrid between being interesting and making enough money. Now I think the money part not so much. I think I do it entirely for a different reason now. I've come to realize as I come closer with the medium that it bypasses language. Even though there are dialogues, being a medium of sight and sound, it actually bypasses the problems of language that Wittgenstein brought up. It goes directly to you. But then the products, the final product, say music video, it's actually based in reality, and I think it's cool to be a part of the selection process. So as a cinematographer, I get to choose what part of reality gets selected into our our medium, and um, in turn, that our selection actually affects a lot um, the the feelings, the perceptions of our final product. So I think being able to choose what to say, quote unquote, is interesting.
I have another thing to say. I became a filmmaker because I'm a masochist. I am kidding, but I am not kidding.
You're not kidding.
Filmmaking is very hard. I think the fact that you get a final product that actually makes the audience happy, makes yourself happy, despite all the hardships in filmmaking, also made, I think, all of us love being a filmmaker.
In some ways, you all answered this, but I'll ask the question anyway. How long have you been doing this?
It
What
started
would
from
you-
interest very little, but really get into like the professional world, maybe being like 2, 3 years. Yeah.
I mean, for me, it was like a really long journey when I first like, picked out a camera and assembled my friends to be actors and actually made a film to get into like to and I made use that film as a presentation to when I was like entering my high school, like, that I guess that was like at least like 7, 8 years ago. So it's been a long time.
Yeah, me too. 2 year as a professional, making money. If making money is the sole
No, it's
factor
not.
where you can call.
No, it isn't.
Okay. Okay. That if that isn't, then it's like 7 years since high school. Yeah.
Okay. The next question is, what did your friends and family say when you came along and said, "Hi, I'm going to be a filmmaker"? Did your family say, "No way, you have to have a college degree, you got to be a lawyer, a doctor, or an engineer before you can even consider making movies"? Or what was that? What was that journey like?
I think for me, my family and friends have always been very supportive. But I still remember that one night my mom was like sleeping next to me, and then I brought up to her about, deciding going to a film major, and then she was like listing out the pros and cons of going into the film major and the film industry. Because I feel like I don't know if it's like true for all Asian parents or like Chinese parents, but they've always want to have the best for their children, and they would love to trying their best to help their children in building their career. So my parents having like no experience or connections in the film industry, they'll be like, you're on your own if you choose this path. But I feel like I'm really lucky to meet the people, throughout the journey who have been always supportive.
Okay.
I feel like my parents kind of the same because like they have no idea what the filmmaking world is like. And I was just a really like a small kid just telling them I really want to do it. And they have nothing to do with it because like they really do not want to, order me to do anything. So they just have to accept the reality. But I was really touched when like, I was making like some like short films during high school, and I remembered when I was actually already at NYU, I forgot it was like freshman year, or like sophomore years, and there was a one time my dad was drinking with some of his friends, and they were like drunk or something, and my dad was actually taking out like a clip, like a short film I made during high school and showing off to his friends. I mean, I feel like at the end of the day, they're kind of proud of what I'm doing, and also later on got into those festivals and all of that actually made them proud. So I'm really happy, at least for now.
My family is pretty neutral about it. They didn't try to stop me. They didn't support me much either. So, but but I think in many ways, the way I was brought up contributes to the way I approach my cinematography. So whether willingly or not, knowing it or not, they are contributing to my work as an artist.
Yeah, I was super supported by my brother. He's a cinephile and everything like that. My parents knew that it was a unfortunate destined destiny that I will become a filmmaker again. So they were neutral about it. I don't think they particularly wanted me to be a filmmaker. I was really good at science when I was in high school. I was also good at like philosophy, things like that. They probably wanted me to be a lawyer, typical. But I think that's still showing the support that they accepted the unfortunate fate of me wanting to be a filmmaker.
Okay. The next question is, but it sounds like you guys do. Do you have your village or support group of filmmakers that you have around you?
For sure. I mean, see this group of people right
Yeah.
here. I think school to us is the most direct resource of us are from NYU or still currently in NYU. We've been surrounded by a group of passionate filmmakers, and it's very lucky to meet this group of people who share the same vision and then brought up like different ideas. Yeah, it's just been a great journey to work with everyone, and then not even just like working, but we become very close friends. So yeah.
I feel like also just being in the city of New York, they're just like a bunch of like passionate people about like filmmaking, and also we have like film festival like New York City Independent Film Festival, and this sort of like communities and groups are like helping us to nourish us like filmmakers, especially when we're fresh off the boats, fresh in the industry.
For me, I'm lucky because I have many friends who are also cinematographers, and between us, there's a very unique bond where we can both talk about work, our approach to work, and the stuff in our lives that might change our approach to work. So that's been a huge support, and yeah.
I realized I've just realized something. You know what you just said. I realized I don't have a support group of directors. It's just I have you guys. I have a lot of friends in filmmaking. We have a support group as filmmakers as a whole. But I realized I never particularly go out of my way to talk to other directors. Maybe I should start. Maybe I should start a support group of directors in New York.
Exactly. Directors of New York. I'll join it. Anyway.
Oh yeah, let's go.
All right. So who was it and what made you decide to make this movie? Who was the idea? Who came up with it?
It was so funny. All right, now that Jinzy is here, we can finally tell the story. One day my hands got itchy. I haven't directed in like 2 months. I was like, I need to make something both commercial and I can express my creative intentions and everything. I just randomly saw Jinzy posting her songs on Instagram story and everything. I was like, yeah, I'm good friend with her. I should just reach out to her. Hey Jinzy, you trying to make a music video?
And then
Jinzy
I was like, heck yeah.
It was so random. It was so random. It's just you trying to make a music video, and heck yeah, that's what made us make this.
Yeah.
That's good.
And then I sent a couple demos. I had other options in mind because this song is actually one of my simpler songs, more like just I spend a lot of time and energy and a lot of like composition production on other songs, but then Jackie chose this one. I guess it's because it's pretty genuine, it's authentic, it can tell a story. And then he was like, oh, I'll just pick this one. And I was like, okay, if you wish. And then we just sort of kind of had a couple calls. I thought he didn't sleep for maybe a whole night, presented me a couple ideas, and then the next thing I know, he got a script. Next thing I know, he got a crew. And I was like, okay, yeah, let's do that.
Isn't that great when that happens?
Oh yeah, it feels so great when that happens. It's like there's a head high, there's a head rush. Well, when that all come together.
So what was the hardest part and what was the most fun part about making this particular movie?
Yinan, I think the hard part, I think we each have a hard part. My hard part is the editing. Directing for me is second nature. Writing for me is second nature. But I also edited this film. This is despite the success of Beyond Farewell, so many film festivals. It's actually my first music video. I didn't have the rhythm down when I wrote the script because I just wrote the script according to Jinzy's lyrics. Editing it was so hard. The first cut barely told the story, and like it didn't even go with the rhythm of the song. So I was really lacking experience on that part. But luckily we have Jessica, we have Sydney, Jinzy. They both are well versed in music video language. They helped me edit that. They helped me with the rhythm and everything. And now the final product, I'm happy with that.
We had some crazy ideas about what we want to do. Like initially, I think Jackie planned on having me fly in the sky. And then there were also like trying to like flashy lights maybe there was one scene was originally in the movie theater. Like those are like crazy cool ideas that I like. And then we just presented to the producers and the producer said, we don't have that much money for that, right? And I was like, okay, so we have to cut those things, but it'll be cool if I I were to actually fly in the music video. So cutting those parts would be the hard thing for me. I guess we also put a lot of pressure on the producers, trying to dial things down a little bit, maybe a lot.
Because I remember Jackie was telling me that we need to film like in amusement park because he really wanted like a carousel or something. And later on we just said we don't have that money because like half of the shoot was taking exterior so that we don't have to pay like a location fee. And we're already paying like interior location like a lot of money, and then we just decided just we can deal with that with like a shopping cart.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was the hardest and the most fun part was the shopping cart spinning. Because we had trouble figuring out how to get something spinning. I don't even remember like who brought up the idea of using a shopping cart. And the way we did it was actually having two GNE people, I believe, having like strings attached to the shopping cart, and they're like spinning in like opposite direction to get the shopping cart spinning. And we
Yeah,
talked like,
Yinan designed a Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
fun for me.
that's cool.
So we knew that we had to get a spinning shopping cart. But then shopping cart on its own is insufficient for the spin because the camera will be too close to the talent. So we fixed a shopping cart sideways onto a doorway dolly on speed rail so that I would get a little more distance. And we spanned the dolly instead of the shopping cart. Yeah, that was a lot of fun to do. Um, yeah, that was the most fun for me.
That's the idea was better than an actual carousel, I would say, because it's wacky. We intentionally wanted to make it indie, wacky stuff, so the tone is pretty right. And then I remember the scene later become the still from that scene become the screensaver for a lot of us, I believe. I've used that for a long time for my laptop and phone.
Okay, great.
yeah, me too.
All right, so this is more generic. What type of filmmakers would you consider yourselves? Are you the type of filmmaker that you make a movie and then forever you sit there and you look at it and you go, one of these days I'm going to fix that. I'm going to redo it and do it better. Or are you the type of filmmaker that says, okay, I made that film. It's my child. It's gone. It's out there. I learned from it, but I'm going to always move on. I'm never going to worry about that film again. Which type are you?
oh, I guess for me, I'm more of like the second type. Just because I think we're like the film we make at this moment is like a reflection of what we are experiencing, what we are feeling. We are trying to get like the best version out of it, working with the budget we have, the crew we have. Um, so I think most of the time when I finish our work, I would just have it sit still and then learn from it. Um, yeah, that's my thought.
Yeah, it's also like that for me. It's like it's mixed. I am profoundly proud of any work I do, because there's so many people's effort going into it, everybody's creative intention, uh, going into it. Delivering a final product is already a very hard thing. As long as you make the film, you edit it, you actually make it, package it, you already did better, than most filmmakers. Like I am immensely proud of any work I do, but in the same time, I'm also woe is me all the time. Like I look at some of my film, I go, oh my God, I could have done so much better at this part. What if I had prepared one more day for this part? Oh, like I get into existential crisis and everything whenever I get late night watching my own film.
Yep. Well, actually, I have to say that that's the hardest part about running a film festival, is I know how much work goes into it. And so when I have to sit there and tell most people, sorry, we're not taking your film, I agonize over that. I hate
Yeah.
that aspect of it, but I'm sorry. Go ahead. Jinzy, you were going to say something?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Now I was just gonna tell Jackie that it's okay to look back at our past works and like not liking a part of it, just because that represents our current state. And then later on we can look back and then thought, oh my God, I was like that before, and then try to see what has changed. And if you were to ask me, I think I learned a lot from these guys trying to make films. Like I brought a lot of that onto my own songwriting. That is to always like Jackie is someone who values storytelling a lot. Like he's always trying to tell a genuine story, something that he really cares about. I think that's something that I learned from him. Try to put that into my own music and other type of media work is to no matter like how much we try to package something into a very professional way or try to do a cool shot, try to demonstrate some skills. I think what's most important about what we all do and what's most important thing that brought us all together is that we all cherish a genuine story, something that we really care about and what we really want to tell in this work.
Okay, the next question is, in the indie film world, we all know we're not going to make enough money to buy mansions and jets. Like that's not what you're in the indie film world for. So what would success look like in the indie film world? What does success look like to each of you?
To me, if you're in the indie film world, that means you're after something more than just money. And so to me, if you're an indie filmmaker, you're successful when when you can be at peace with yourself and what you've made. Because being to me, being an indie filmmaker comes with standards you set for yourself. And once you've satisfied those standards, either through fame or some kind of award, or just you being happy, content with what you've made, having said what you need to say, and have been heard, and you're happy with you and your creations, I think that's good enough for me.
I would also say having your audience, right? Because indie film world is not about making a ton of money, but if you cultivated an audience that genuinely enjoy your work, like the type of shit you like to make, they like to see. Like that's such a happy thing. It's such a simple joy. Like it sounds corny as shit, but like that. I imagine people watching my film. I don't just imagine. I go to film festivals, watch people watch my film, and like I can see they enjoy it. And I just it just gives me so much chemicals in my head.
For sure. I think it's just you realizing that people are recognizing you and your work and I appreciate them. I think that would be like the most successful part to be in this indie world.
I feel like I really agree to what everyone has said, but I think we're definitely missing a really important point is that I think when we're working with, when we're on set working with a bunch of friends instead of like working with like union professionals, I feel like that's, totally two different kind of working vibe, especially for me, because like I work with like professional people, they are indeed really professional, they do their job fast, efficient, but you don't have that kind of bonding because everyone's getting paid and when their time is up they just go home. And but making film with a bunch of friends really makes your life happier when you're actually bonding with each other, vibing with each other, having some small chat between takes. I think all of those are really like my happy memories in the past few years of like just being consistently being in this industry and have more confidence and also encouragement to keep going.
All right, my last question. So somebody comes along and goes, "Hi guys, I'm thinking about becoming a filmmaker. You guys are filmmakers. What do you have to say? What do you think about me becoming a filmmaker?"
I think from my end is be patient and be persistent on what you're doing. Don't rush, don't of course there are down times, but just keep going. Yes.
I feel like for me it would just be like, have your own vision, have your own voice to tell. Like I think that's really important as like a storyteller.
I would tell them to go work um, somewhere related to film where they can learn the underlying structures of what supports filmmaking. So why are certain things a certain way and what every job does. I wish they can. I think they should learn the logic, the reasoning behind why things work their way to work, but then they should also adapt them so that they work in their favor when they make their first film, I assume, because you don't need everything the film industry has. Just because it's there doesn't mean you should have it. But a lot of things that's there are very useful, and having some sort of structure that has been test and proved working in your first film is very, it could be very helpful.
I agree with Yinan, and I also think there is one really, really important thing, especially like this advice directly goes to the new directors. Make your shit. Just make your film. Yeah, just make more film. If you feel like you haven't directed in a while, find the opportunity to make another film. If you feel like you have directed a lot, but you still have the strength left in your body, make another film. Because as a director, as a writer, the least thing, like your biggest disadvantage comparing to your crew is your experience. You are likely the least experienced person in your crew in their relative position. Because nobody has like 30 directed films when they're just fresh off the school. But every G&E person, every DP has their like 30, 40 films under their belt. Just make more shit. You will eventually learn the flow. I'm still learning the flow, but I just know that staying dormant, not doing things, not making the things you want to make, get you nowhere.
Okay, great. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you giving me your time today. So I'm just going to do a little plug here. Their music video, Beyond Farewell, will be shown at the New York City Independent Film Festival at the Producers Club on Friday, June 7th at 10:15 during the music video slot. Thank you, guys.